Good morning, everyone. Today is a brand new day, and it is day 2 of StratosFur or StratosFur. I apologize for my pronunciation, but it is the second day of my stay at this convention. So you probably saw about yesterday's video of everyone evacuating the building after the fire alarm was triggered. So the question is, what happened? I ended up asking one of the staffs as the reason why we had to evacuate the building, and it turns out the frog that was produced in the Raven triggered one of the alarms. That's the reason why the fire alarm went off, causing everyone to evacuate. Well, not technically everyone. It really got to the point that they actually had to close the main event for a while just to air out the frog, and afterwards they end up not using it when I was there. Well, that's kind of funny. So what happened yesterday? The reason why I didn't have a great time yesterday was because there were so much people yesterday out, like literally in crowded places. Because at the registration there was like long lines of people trying to get themselves registered on that day one, it ends up actually being an area where a lot of people will be hanging out. Not to mention that same hallway has the panels, the dealer's den, and the artist alley. So of course there will be the area where people mostly be hanging out. And I was actually at the wrong place. So many things I wanted to do yesterday as well, which actually I was got a decent amount of footage yesterday. But I think my real issue was when I had to communicate or interact with these people. Don't get me wrong, these are great people, amazing people. I met so many nice people here as well. But the real issue, as I mentioned earlier, is that there's so much people. My mind is processing a lot of information. It really got to the point where I couldn't think straight, and that is the result. Another thing that was also a problem is that as I was trying to catch some footage and capture some pictures and videos, not many people were that cooperative, to be honest with you. Some ignored me, others were really busy, and even though if I was able to get their attention, there were still people who end up interrupting us, people who just come into the social group and interrupt the things that I wanted to do. Kind of put me in a frustrating situation. I would get interrupted most of the time. So the problem with that is that usually I would go up to people, ask to take pictures, you know, just make videos and just have some fun. And usually when I do these stuff, usually either there's two ways that usually happens. One, either we just do the video, say goodbye, or two, they would sometimes ask for my social media, or I want to have a copy of my photos, which I don't really mind. Other times there will be other people who want to take pictures as well, so I'm not really bothered with that. But what's really bothering is the fact that just yesterday, there was a person that wanted to get a photo from my phone. We were trying to set up this airdrop, and then another person came in to interrupt. I don't mind, like that. Those things happen. It's normal. But the problem with this experience is that they were actually going on with this conversation so long. I end up inside waiting for a long time, and that's a huge issue. Even I had the same issue from my last experience at Golden State FurCon. I don't know if I mentioned this in the last video in my Golden State FurCon vlog, but what happened is that on one day, as I was actually doing this kind of stuff, I was asking people to take photos, make videos, and as I was doing this, there were so many people who wanted to take photos of us, and then there were so many people who wanted to interact with us, and not to mention, even there was actually one person who wanted to give me a drawing, which I actually really appreciated. I really loved it. But there were so many things going on that I was not able to process what's actually what's going on around me and do the things I wanted to do. Like, I want to say thank you and appreciate the person that gave me the drawing, and while interacting with people who wants to like interact with me, while the others who want to take pictures, which I thought that I was willing to do. But there was so many things going on. I was going under stress. I was actually sweating a lot more as I was trying to do all these kind of stuff. And it's the same thing that's going on yesterday. But the only difference is that so many people keep interrupting us that I was not able to either do the things that I want to do, or unable to share footage with other people, or even there was actually some cases where people would interrupt us and then I'll be pushing aside and just stand there and wait until they finish, which actually took like literally like 5-10 minutes, and I couldn't, like, it was just that bad. So that's my experience yesterday. Even though the day wasn't as great as I hoped it would be for yesterday, but things got somewhat better, I would say. I got some food. As a matter of fact, I got my favorite drink, the blackberry tea. With a pizza. The pizza was really good. The Z Pizza, that's just located just a few blocks away. Shout out for their place. Shout out for Chili's. Shout out for Z Pizza for making an awesome food. I really loved it. It brightened my day. I went to the Raven. I interacted with some people as well. I was able to get some footage. A matter of fact, the nighttime there was actually less people than the daytime, so things was actually much better for me. It was a better experience than the day. Not great, not good, I guess, but somewhat better. So it is the next day. I'm in a better mood now. I'm actually quite happy. So any further ado, let's begin our journey at StratosFur or StratosFur Day 2. And cut. Alright, ready, go. Alright, thank you so much. Have a great day.
You too.